Welcome to Reality After Show coverage of House of Villains Season 2, Episode 4. I'm Jonny Fairplay, joined as always by Jenn Hoffman. How's it going, Jenn Hoffman?
It's going great. I'm enjoying this season. And yeah, I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah, this is a good one. Episode 4 begins with Previously On. We know how we got here, but the episode proper, it's the morning after the hit list nominations and the changes and all that. And New York is in the kitchen and doesn't know how to open the drawer of the house that she literally lived in months before.
Yes.
So,
Second time around, still does not know.
yeah. Well, for the record, New York spent a lot of time in her room, and Corinne spent a lot of time fetching stuff from the kitchen for New York.
Got it.
So.
Yeah, you had said she spent a lot of time in her room and kind of didn't quite understand yet that the show wasn't I Love New York again, or like the villain is New York, or I think this time she gets a little more because she's she's trying to open a drawer, so we know we have some progress.
Yes, lots of progress. So once again, gameplay wise, New York wants Camila to work things out with Wes, and I'm like, whoa, look at New York, little strategy machine.
Yes, you didn't expect that before. She wasn't playing that way, but maybe through their cooking show or just through observing last season, she starting to have strategy rather than just maybe, because there's some things coming up, but started to have seemingly some strategy.
Yeah, I'm curious how much of season 1 New York watched.
I don't know about watching it as much. Then again, she doesn't really do the social media thing either, so she doesn't get the feedback. Wes might have just explained it to her, or she might just be smart enough to know Wes wins stuff. Why don't I follow along with Wes? Because that could work for me.
Well, she did call me out. We did press the week before the premiere, and she and we were broken up into groups, and my group was New York and Corinne and myself. And New York did confront me, and she was just like, "You sabotaged me," and I was just like, "Yeah." I was like, "I just thought you wanted to go home. I wasn't trying to come after you. I was just trying to oblige your wishes."
Right.
So, and she believed it. So that's good. So even out of the game, you do not want a New York confrontation in your life.
No, I would think not. No, she's famous for being, when you're named New York, I live in New York City. If that's your moniker, that's you just don't want to mess with it. You just want to live as peacefully and coexist with it as any entity that is New York as much as you can.
Yeah, she earned New York. She's not Connecticut. She earned New York.
Right.
So Jesse's a little upset that Victoria put up her roommate, and even though they had an alliance, they had a deal worked out where they would protect one another.
Yeah.
Jesse's rubbed a little bit the wrong way, but it's here where New York reveals to everyone that she has a new wig every 6 days.
Oh yes, I didn't know that. She's asked if she has highlights, and she's like, "No, baby." She's like, "It's a wig. Every 6 days I got to get rid." I'm like, I did not know about this disposable 6-day wig rule.
Wigs aren't cheap.
I know that. Well, maybe she's getting less expensive, but less durable ones instead of getting the crazy lace weave last a bazillion washes because she wants more looks. That could make sense.
So, well, I called her out on her hair one morning on season 1. I was just like, "Oh my God, your hair looks so hot." She was like, "Sweetie, it's a wig."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, my bad." So we see Wes and Camila finally having a sit down discussing what happened the night before, and Camila plays dumb. I felt like Wes bought it.
I feel like I watched that and was like, Wes seemed to have bought it. Well, okay. Maybe not full trust because he's not going to trust anybody, but underestimated her, so bought it via that, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, he was just like, "Oh, she screwed." He was just like, she misinterpreted, I'm the master, I'm the greatest ever, and she misunderstood my advice.
Right, right. And doesn't understand that she's doing her own thing and placating him, and instead believes that she's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
and which but he does, I will say in the end though, when he walks away from that, he does still say that he's not happy and wants to exact some revenge. So that's why I'm saying sort of. Like,
Yeah,
yes,
I'm with the sort of too, but I think as far as Camilla's concerned, he believed it enough.
yes,
Like, it's not like
completely.
he walked away going, I didn't buy any of that. I don't trust her as far as I could throw her. Like, I think he walked away from that going, oh my God, I have to teach her better. She
Yeah.
didn't completely get, but it left with a, I think.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I think it was exactly that. And it was more just because he's a gamer type person that it's like that person has to be taught a lesson. So like I will be coming after her. Not exactly. Not I don't trust her. She's trying to play me,
Yeah.
nothing like that. It's like he trusted her, but said, oh, but I'm still gonna get her in the end. But you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
I once again, Camilla, possibly the best gamer on this cast.
so far. She seems to have studied all the previous games. Like she knows Survivor, or she knows not just the game, she also knows the interplay with the housewives. It seems like Camilla is very smart and has a very good grip on personalities, how to manage them, competitions, competition shows. Like she's probably a fan as well as like a participant in a show. So yes, I completely agree. She's killing it so far.
Yeah, yeah, and I love that no one's picking up on the fact that she is potentially playing the best game of anyone in that house.
Even though she's like openly like throwing the biggest competitors up there, saying she's a villain, dressing like a villain, I think they still can't conceive that because she's not a competition show person.
Yeah,
And because she's heard that she is maybe one of the smartest, if not the smartest, most competitive person in there.
yeah, it's great. It's great. I love watching this low key game of someone that's just like Camilla should have been like. I'm glad she was on Bad Girls Club. She's a great bad girl, but she could have easily been on a Survivor, a Big
Yes,
Brother, or Challenge in the past, and
absolutely.
we wouldn't second guess it. We
Yes,
wouldn't be like, "Well, how did she get on those shows?" We would have seen her play one of those shows and been like, "She is good at these shows."
yes.
so,
Completely
so
agree.
I'm for it. I'm for it. And as a result, House of Villains may be the perfect game for her.
Yeah, yeah, because that's exactly what I was thinking. Because if any of the gamers had put up, three huge targets, they would be like, oh, that person's a gamer and it was so smart and they're dangerous. But she does it and they think that she's just playing the Bad Girls Club evil character, but without any strategy behind it. They
Yeah,
think it's just all about like the how it looks, like
yeah.
maybe a bit of like a Bobby Light, which of course we'll get to, but like a Bobby Light type move. Like I'm just gonna do something villainous to make a splash, not realizing that's also the best strategy in the house.
Yeah, and I think she has plausible deniability with I don't know what I'm doing, and also depending upon the conversation, they just went all girls last time. I just went all boys this time.
Yep. That was a super good move. And then Jesse even I don't know, but buys it, but pushes the narrative by saying, "Oh, those girls are against us." So, so he's now bought into that a little bit, and
Yeah, the women
you
are
have
coming after the guys, and it's just like okay.
yeah, and I'll give Camilla credit too for also no one else in there can shut their mouth. Really, I mean, Wes is okay with it, but when someone is coming at them, so if when Richard was instructing her what to do, and they did a flashback to to remind you of why she put Richard up, that he was kind of lecturing her like she like was stupid and didn't know what to do, and she didn't like that. She didn't say to him like, "What do you think? I'm stupid. Don't tell me what to do." She was like, "Oh, thank you," like thanking him for the advice, and then was like bitch please, like no one tells me what to do, and put him up. So she's
Yeah.
also very good at total gamer stuff, which is to someone's face, like not getting in that fight, not getting triggered, not having the emotion coming out, and then coming back around and doing what needs to be done.
Are we seeing more emotion season 2 versus season 1?
It depends because we had a lot of you on season 1 and you were very emotional. You had enough emotion for a whole cast. And
Well,
Bananas too. No, not just you. And Bananas, you guys have a friendship, and so there's Jax had a flip out and was like ready to go back to prison or whatever.
yes, for
Bananas
shake.
and you and Bananas had a true, like, where he believed you hurt his friendship where you didn't intend to, and that was a very emotional thing.
And he
So
still believes it, even though he's seen the episode. He was like, "I still think you fired the first shot." I'm like, "Oh my god, I hate you
gosh.
forever."
Yeah, it was, you know what? I think last season was more emotional, being that personal relationships and feelings were genuine, were being hurt and shown because of relationships. And this one's more like maybe emotional chaos because Victoria, Candy, there's a few people, there's not like the depth, like because of a long-term relationship. There's just the fly off the handle, get upset really quickly. Safari's like that too, like these people that just like will switch on a dime.
Yeah.
Whereas you're not going to switch on a dime, and you can follow through a plan, but you can be deeply upset or hurt or trying to convince a friend of yours that something is wrong or right. And Jax genuinely was like pissed. It wasn't just a random fly off the handle. He really hated Shake. So
Oh, I feel like I was number 2 on his list after him watching the actual episode where I sabotaged, because we were in Boston for a viewing party, and I was just like, "Hey, did you watch the episode?" "Oh, I don't watch myself." "You should really watch the episode." "I don't watch." So I asked 10 times. I'm like, "Please watch the episode before the viewing party." No, and then we're in Boston at the viewing party. He's downstairs, I'm upstairs, and like, and of course I'm just saying the worst things ever in my confessionals,
right,
because that's where I do my damage. And
yeah.
he was just like this, and he threw a ketchup bottle at me,
Oh,
missed me, hit the DJ, and then was like, "The tour's over," and
oh my
fortunately at that time he had Brittany in his life, and she was just like, "That's what Jonny Fairplay does." And he was
right.
like, "Okay, tour's back on, we're good."
Yeah. And you guys are friends again. He's like, that's
Yeah,
just the game. That's how it is. This is
yeah.
different. But yeah, this one has a lot of
It's just I feel like they're more biting, this
yeah,
cast.
yeah. They're more ready to fly off the handle and just say something nasty to you or go after you, where I feel like there was a little bit more strategic pulling back on that on your cast, and a little bit more when people did get emotional. It was because of, I mean, besides Bobby acting, there's certain people kind of acting, but
Yeah,
genuine emotion. It's like on this one, it's like people are genuinely like upset about the smallest little thing, or you say the
yeah.
smallest, if you just even tell someone to be quiet, they're like, now I hate you, now I'll destroy you, how dare you, I'm gonna go talk about you, I'm gonna get you eliminated, now I'm not gonna go with the vote that I was gonna go with. Like, yeah, it's very delicate sensibilities.
I like that this is like, I feel like it's a totally different dynamic, and I think that's good. I mean, I didn't need to see season 1 replay. I mean, I would love to see it, as a cast member. It's just like, hey, just bring back the same group every time.
Yes.
I love that this is a totally different feel,
Yeah,
and
different vibe.
and it's the same theme, it's the same house, it's the same host, it's one of the same people, but it just feels different. And I don't know if it's the evolution of the game, or just that these 10 personalities are so different than those previous 10 personalities. And I think it's that.
Yeah, it's the personalities, because it's still basically the same format. You still have, breaking the fourth wall. You still have similar competitions, and it's the people for sure.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we get Victoria's origin story. She lost her mom at 1 and has misbehaved ever since because of it.
Right. You
Yes.
hear that, and she's telling Teresa this, and then Teresa, you can see, is, at least for right now, saying she feels really bad for her. She understands her. She already had once said something about her reminding her of a daughter. So you see this
Yeah.
connection.
So,
That is tragic. Obviously, you lose your mom at 1,
oof,
but I'm like, I don't know. Then for the rest of your life, you're acting out because of that. Then it's like
I don't know.
therapy, medication. I don't know.
We'll talk to Victoria and find out.
Yeah. I mean, it
So,
makes sense. I can't imagine. I mean, then again, I could. My mom's never gonna die. I mean, if the apocalypse happens, you'll see like Donald Trump and my mom are the two people that'll like crawl out from like underneath the rubble and be like, raise a fist. They're both from Jamaica, Queens. They both
There
will
you go.
not be stopped. Yeah.
So we see a painting, which is a foreshadowing for later. I have yet to see my painting in the house yet. I know it's there because I have a picture of it. Uh, but we see the Bobby Lights "Game On, Bitches" painting.
Yes.
So we saw Bananas painting in this one. I believe we saw earlier episode we saw New York and Jack. So hey, we'd love to see the Jonny Fairplay painting. Let's make it work.
Haven't seen that yet, but we did get a glimpse of you sitting around the dinner table. We did get
Oh
a
yeah,
cameo from your last season when they
I'll
were
take
referring back to you. Yeah.
I'll take a cameo.
Yeah.
So Victoria explains that she wants to open a Pilates studio and pay her tickets with her $200,000 of winnings.
Oh, yeah.
The house is very open air, so you can hear conversations downstairs from upstairs without trying.
Okay, so this part of the episode, I like wanted to throw something at the TV. Okay. On one hand, you have them thinking, well, she doesn't need the money because she wants to open a Pilates studio, and that sounds very like rich girl type obnoxious thing. Then the other hand, you have them attacking her because she's not financially responsible because she still gets parking tickets, which by the way, I don't know where they live, but if you live in Los Angeles or New York City and you have a vehicle and
You're
you
getting
try to ever read the signs, you're going to get tickets till the day you die if you leave your
yes.
house with that
I,
vehicle.
I got a parking ticket in Raleigh, North Carolina, going to a barcade thinking I was parking responsibly.
Yeah, yeah. I think they make those signs purpose. I mean, there's even, especially Los Angeles in particular, the memes about how confusing they are. But anywhere you go, you can get a parking ticket. You can leave your car there for too long. She further explained that then she made it kind of worse for herself in their eyes by saying she didn't have tags and got a ticket for that, then couldn't do that. And they were going off on her like, at 30, you shouldn't have that. Well, look, I had my life together and made plenty of money in my 20s and was doing well and was like on The Apprentice and did all these things, and then moved back to New York City in my 30s and realized I hadn't renewed my tags, and my car got booted in New York City just for not having up-to-date tags, and I was like 35. So I'm like, what, like, that is not, your age has nothing to do with something
Well,
like, I could have paid the registration, I just forgot, but
yeah. Well,
that has
we're
nothing to
telling
do with it.
Safari the story when we have him on the podcast. I'm sure he's going to give you a what for.
Well, I mean, it's just to me, it was like, she got it from both. That's what's annoying. If you're all going to go in on her about her being irresponsible and, just ditzy and whatever and can't take care of herself, fine. But then you can't at the same time say, oh, to open a Pilates studio isn't a good enough reason and, is a prissy thing. Because if she were to have any sort of business mind or a mentor or open a franchise, then she'd have money to pay the parking ticket. So it's like,
Yeah,
make
and they're
up what
not
you
just
want.
parking tickets.
Like, what do you want from this girl?
Yeah. So yeah. I can relate. I prior to being engaged to the greatest woman ever, I have been fiscally, emotionally, and mentally irresponsible for years.
I
So
have too. I've been out of the gate extremely responsible with those things, and then not responsible with those things. So it's like I don't judge people at all like that, and the people who
yeah,
do judge people like that, I start to dislike a little. I'm like,
yeah. And I really feel like they just wanted to come after Victoria for the sake of coming after Victoria because it was, oh, she's rich, she doesn't need the money. And she's like, oh, actually, I'm not rich. Okay, well, let's just find any other reason to attack you because we don't like you.
right. Yes. Oh no, I completely agree. That's
Yeah,
that's why you had the duality of whether if
yeah,
she's rich, she's wrong. If she's broke and can't take care of her finances, she's wrong. If she's still doing OnlyFans, she's a hoe, she's wrong. If she's not doing OnlyFans, she's stupid because she's leaving money on the table. If she's arguing back with people, then she's annoying and not shutting up. If she's not defending herself, she's weak. So yes, no matter what she chooses, they just don't like her.
yeah. She can do no right, which makes for great TV for me. So, and then we see it's too damn soon for Hatch to go home. We'll
Is
find
it?
out. It seems like it might be the right time.
And
Uh,
keeping in mind what I said last episode and what I said in our interview with the great Mr. Spectacular,
yeah.
we'll
So
get there.
We'll get there. We'll get there. So, well, it's time for the redemption challenge. Everybody, time to get in the car and Candy. Victoria gets car sick. You have to sit in the back. Nope, Candy ain't having it. Candy can't fit in the back. Okay, for the record, I have been in these exact same cars. I was there season 1. It doesn't matter how big or how small you are, you can fit in the back or in the front. Candy chose not to go in the back, but it's a whole thing. Victoria sits in the back. You know, who's fourth wall, cars come back. Hey guys, the location's not ready yet.
That's so funny.
That was beautiful. So let's reset. We go again. It's boys in one car, girls in the other. Oh my God, what are they got? The boys don't care.
Yeah.
Hey, these are where the planes are. So
Right.
and the planes are a big deal. You don't get it as a viewer. So here's a peek behind the curtain. So the stronghold is in the backyard, and it's essentially just a tent in the backyard.
Okay.
And there's bushes on each side, so you can't see it when you see the pool, but it's literally right beside the pool. We're not really going to the bookcase and game. That's where they mic us up. That's where James is, and James gets another appearance. I'm so excited for James. So, but anyway, the stronghold is literally a tent in the backyard. So there is an airport right beside the house, literally right beside. So when attempting to film, it's, hey guys, welcome to hold for sound.
Yeah.
And whatever time we chose to film is the exact time in which it was time for 15 planes to take off at that moment.
For every flight pattern to exist. You know, that's like every meme, you know, the meme where a girl's laying in bed and she's like, I wonder if he's thinking of other girls right now, and they show what the guy's thinking, and it's like something as like inane as that.
Yeah, I wonder if Yoda had a girlfriend.
Exactly. Or just like, just something like that. And that was exactly what the girls are like. Oh, the guys must be, wonder what they're talking about. Oh yeah, they're talking, they're scared. And then you get like, like, that's where the planes come from Jesse, and it's perfect. It's like the perfect women over talking, overthinking, and the guys just being like, guys.
Yes, this is not the most strategic. Like, as far as we're seeing, I feel better gameplay this season 1, but still not a strategic bunch at all.
And not like a naturally chatty, just for the sake of like causing, like, you, Bananas, like, you guys are still like, you know, guys, but you guys also know that if there is silence, you guys can fill up the space with either plotting or something interesting, or these guys
not plotting. We'll get there with the West conversation later. Not plotting when it comes to Bananas, but you bring up someone's name because you know it can be triggering to someone else.
Exactly. Yeah, so just produce it. You guys are, if there's silence and you're not too tired and trying to get a break or thinking, then you're producing. So you're going to say something to cause an effect. But actually, their silence accidentally caused a great moment, so it worked out for them anyway.
Yeah. So and if you have Bobby Lights in your car, no one has to worry about talking. He's going to handle it for everyone.
Yeah.
You get a different chapter in the life of Bobby Lights every car ride.
I can't even imagine.
Well, I can say that 60% can't make television. Well, they can, but on the Zeus network, not on E.
Yes.
So let's see. Well, it's time for the redemption. It's time for the redemption. It is it is called Body Snatchers, which we don't know that yet, but we see that it's a metal maze with high voltage and 3 dummies. And then there's 3 dummies competing in this challenge. And and our host is Bobby Lights, because Joel McHale couldn't be bothered to make this appearance. And Bobby asks, is he too late for the season 1 finale? Which I thought was the best line of the show so far this season.
He's great. But he's just great. He's just so good.
Yes, and we get a highlight package of Bobby Lights in the house season 1. I make the cut, and it finishes with a Shake. I did not think we would see Shake in season 2, and you see Bobby Lights deep throating Shake's doll, which was a semi-recurring thing. Like, the best So we all had our dolls, and
Yeah.
these dolls are great because our heads don't fall backwards and forwards. These actually sit up straight. But Shake's doll came with his dog, Poof. Or
Oh.
Puff. That was his dog. Puff is his dog, which he has shared custody on, and that was a whole thing as well. So, but Puff was his dog that was beside his doll, and Bobby Lights would relentlessly hide Puff so that
Oh.
Shay couldn't have it. But here's the thing: so we have the dolls and the big cabinet thing or whatever. He would literally just set it on top where you couldn't see it eye level.
Oh, just messing with him.
Yes.
Just messing with him, just trying to get him going. That's so funny.
So
I like that.
and then he would deep throat it, and there was an entire scene,
He said,
season
"I'm
one,
trying
and
to eat you alive." And I thought that was funny because at first it looks like it's just like he's just being like sexual Bobby, like whatever. But then the "I'm trying to eat you alive," like
yes,
extra little kick to it was
no,
like,
yeah, it works on every level.
yeah,
So there's a scene season one that is one of our favorite moments. I mean, we talked about it for days after. So Shake is explaining what happened with Corinne and I think him. Oh yeah, with him and Corinne, and he was doing a puppet show with the dolls, and he was like,
mm,
and he goes, so Corinne's, and he's explaining to me and Bananas and others, and he was like, yeah, so Corinne was here, and he was like, and I was here, kind of like lurking, like a weirdo, and like it's a very self-deprecating puppet show for Shake.
yeah,
And Corinne comes down in the middle of it and loses it. She was like, how dare you touch my doll and you're making fun of me? And he's like, no, I'm making fun of me. And she was like, no, you're not. I saw you. And we're literally like, no, it's the most self-deprecating puppet show I've ever seen. It's
you're like he's
honestly,
making fun of himself being a creep, not you. I feel
yes,
like they needed another Corinne and they found it in Victoria, but Corinne is still in her own whole world of
yes,
Corinne-ness. That said, they did. I think they were like, "Who's going to be our Corinne?" And they were like, "Oh!" When they found Victoria, because
yes,
totally
yes.
different. It's like a different brand. Didn't have a nanny growing up. Didn't have a mom. But also like you kind of get
May
the
have had
same
a
result.
nanny. It's Jonny Fairplay, reality TV icon, Survivor Hall of Famer, and I'm talking today about Work Money. Work Money is a non-profit organization that focuses on lowering costs and raising incomes for all Americans to make American life more affordable and American families more economically secure. They provide products, services, perks, benefits, tips, and tools to help members improve their financial lives. It's time to level up and make more money in this economy. We're talking getting rich. Now, this sweepstakes is giving away $50,000. You can use this to pay your rent, your mortgage. Imagine what you can do with all the money that you'll save. Now, this is put on by Work Money, and this site has all these sick benefits, and it's free. Go sign up right now and get more rich. Now, listen, you can change your life. Now, what would you do if you didn't have to pay your rent or mortgage for a year? Listen. Sign up right now for free. A link is available right here in the show notes. Check them out. Personally, I'd get more pinball machines. I'm Jonny Fairplay. I wouldn't lie about that. It's Work Money. More money. It is the Body Snatchers redemption challenge, and Bobby explains the rules, and that will be my weekly phone call to production. How many takes did it take for Bobby Lights to explain the rules? Because I'm like, there is no way. And I'm willing to bet $200,000 on this that Bobby Lights nailed it like what we saw in that finished product.
I didn't even think about that. He's so on and off. Like you know him much better, and you've been around him. But like, I feel like he doesn't pay attention because he doesn't really have to. Lives in his own world. But if he had to like repeat like the Gettysburg Address, he could.
Yes, but at the same time, when reciting the Gettysburg Address, if there's a butterfly, like we're there's 20 minutes before the Gettysburg Address is readdressed. So, all right, let's see. So it's a blindfolded electric maze, and what did you think of this challenge?
I mean, I like that All right. I like the fear of the electric shock and to see who actually feared it and who just kind of bumped into it. I liked seeing that there's people that were like, hell no, I wouldn't even do it. And I liked that they had somebody, you had to choose somebody else who you trusted to guide you. But in this case, I almost wish they had picked I don't know. It was like, so I'll just get to it that Jesse and Richard both didn't really seem to care if they bumped into it. They just wanted to get through it. They were trying to avoid being shocked. Jesse was smart and turned sideways, but they were going to bump into it because they want to win. And then you had Safari going super slow, and like if it even touched him, being like, ah. So, I mean, I don't know, and also you didn't really get a sense of people like I think it was meant to be like, is somebody gonna mislead them? Are we gonna have a little bit more like,
It was here for sabotage, and that's what most redemptions are, especially the early part of the season. The
yeah, I
redemptions are
should have just
there
gotten to that.
to
Exactly. And there wasn't. People seem to have been really helping their partner get through it.
yeah. I mean, like, could you imagine me and Jax doing this? Like, Jax is blindfolded and I'm the caller. Like Jax could light a light bulb at the end of this challenge by the time I'm done with him.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's it on this one, it was like you had two teams that had trust, and then you had Jesse going out on a limb with Larsa, but she was like, all right, I'm gonna earn his trust and do this the right way. So you lost that excitement of somebody just getting someone to be like or leading them backwards through the maze, or just doing dumb stuff. So this just became a matter of who wants it. And then, of course, you have like the competitor. You have, a Richard Hatch and you have Jesse, and they're both competitive by nature. So they're just like, yeah, just tell me which way to go, and I'll get tased a million times. Just tell me which way to go. And only a 6-second difference between them.
Yeah, and I always look for a workaround in challenges like this, and I feel like the workaround on this was get to your dummy as quickly as possible, and then use that dummy as a shield. Yeah.
I was wondering if they were saying like you can't. I had a bunch of different things that I was thinking of. I was like, can the person who's guiding you like I was always this annoying person on my show too, that where I'd be like, well, it doesn't say, because we had a dossier with the rules too.
Yeah.
Because usually
they do that. Oh, they not only so it's all explained, it's all handed to you on a clipboard. You have to read it, and then you're filmed reading it and signing it.
Okay, so we had that too. It would be like
we did not have that on Survivor.
Trump would be like, mazes are $1 billion industry. Everything was $1 billion industry. Going, this one, you guys are going to construct and sell a maze worthy of whatever, blah, blah, blah. Sell lemonade in the middle of it. Who knows? And then we'd have the clipboard with the check marks, and then we get this giant dossier down in front of us. But I would always go through the dossier and either find the tricks, find the things, or be like, what day is it today? Oh, it's Sunday. We could do that. And then like production would always have to be like, God damn it. Like, because I would figure out a loophole every time. I would figure out something they didn't say we couldn't do, or something that we clearly could do. And they would be like, God, like angry. No, you can't do it. And I'd be like, why? Yes, we can. And it was just like, so in this, like, I'm thinking to myself, like, it must have said they can't get in the maze to help you. It probably said you can't use the dummy on the way back to protect yourself. Because I was thinking about all those different ways I would do that.
Yeah. Well, once they got the dummies, we didn't see too much footage of them post dummy. So I'm thinking they probably did.
Yeah. Maybe your dummy could touch the thing, but you weren't allowed to just put it directly in front of you, because it felt like they kind of were still buzzing it a little on the way back, but they got out quicker than they got in.
Yeah, much quicker. So, Safari chose Wes, Hatch chose Candy, Jesse chose Larsa with a leap of faith. It worked out. And Bobby hasn't heard the term, hasn't heard someone screaming straight so much since his dad.
Yeah.
Or go straight. Sorry.
Yes.
Yes. Safari last, 6-second win by Jesse. And guess what? Bobby's coming back to the house.
Yeah, at least he says he is. He's like, guess what?
Yeah, I got it. We have a group text with the season 1 cast, and we got a text immediately from Bob. He's like, here's his painting in the house. I'm here. Everyone's awesome. Season 2 is going to be great. I'm just like, thank you for the update, Bobby. So, he does have a question about the remodeling. So do I. It's okay. No complaints. So New York is happy. And Lars explains that she thinks Hatch is the most dangerous person in there because he survived a shark attack. And not only did he get bit by a shark, a 3-foot shark. Let's not go crazy, folks. He bit it back.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's a moment.
It was a moment. So Hatch also had another moment on All Stars that they're not going to talk about. So there is that.
Okay.
Have you watched the Vice magazine deal? The dark side of reality TV, Survivor season 1.
No.
It just came out.
No. Somebody sent me clips because I'm on the Bachelor one because I interview Mike Fleiss. So there's clips of me interviewing Mike Fleiss and talking to him on the dark side of the Bachelor. So that's the only one I've seen because a bunch of people were sending it to me like, hey, do you know you're on this? I haven't
watched yet. I'd like to check it out. Maybe we'll do a pod. Maybe we won't. Who's to say? Teresa greets Bobby Lights and she goes, "Hey, I think you were on season 1." And he was like, "Did you even watch the show?" And she said she watched the first and last episode, which I think encapsulates most of this cast.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Like they're like, all right, I get it. Like they're not gameplay. They're like, all right, that's all I need to do. Just watch the first and last. I'll get the gist of it. I'll understand it, and that's about it. They're not doing the most.
I think watching episodes like 2 through 9, learning how the sabotaging works may have been helpful.
I would have taken notes. I would have been
I would have watched our season 1 podcast.
Yeah, I'd have been like, this works, this doesn't work. I would have made a goal. Is my goal to win the $200,000, or is my goal to be like, maybe not through litigation, but like get the Omarosa, like I'm getting every inch of this that I can take, and also a Bobby Light, I'm getting I would go for the money. I have a child now, but like depending on what you want, you should watch the whole thing and figure out who did what to get, what they wanted out of it.
There you go. So, Bobby asked for a bottle immediately. Casamigos Reposada. Let's go. And goes and sits in his bed. Sorry, Safari. This is back to Bobby Lights' bed and my room. So there we have it. Safari wants nothing to do with Victoria for telling him to shut the fuck up the previous night. And then when confronted by Victoria, who accidentally touched him, he says he has nothing. He wants nothing to do with her. He is, and even if he leaves, he is going back to a 6-bedroom house. And Victoria is going back to speeding tickets. To which Victoria replies, "It's not speeding tickets."
Yeah, it's not speeding tickets. That's great.
Yes. So Jesse notices, and we get this by way of confessional, that I believe confessional. At some point during conversation, we see that Jesse sees that Safari is helping Wes big time. I'm like, hey, way to catch that. And Wes at this point in the kitchen, they're making steaks, and it looks like some good cuts. Wes calls out Safari for calling out Victoria. It's just like, dude, play the I know you don't like her. It's fine. Play the game. Be nice for one night. So in 2 days, you can be as mean as you want to her. But for what? And he's like, no, I'm not doing it. He changes his mind. So Candy also sees. Candy goes a step further. Candy sees the West Safari and New York alliance. So he's put together that Safari and New York were on a show together, but he also is lumping in West with them. And I'm glad that people are catching this. It's painful for the viewer to watch a competition show in which strategy is a component for some much more than others. But for someone to catch, it's just like, hey, they're together.
Right.
Because when they don't catch that, you're just yelling at the TV going, how can you not see this? This is so
Yeah,
painfully
sometimes
obvious.
that's fun though when they don't see it, but in this case, he did. And I guess didn't want to be against the majority of the house and kind of sees what's happening, but it is a little fun to watch somebody, especially when they're very loud, be clueless.
Yes, yes. Loud and Clueless is fun. So, well, Candy's working with Jesse, and I like this alliance. So, Bobby explains to Victoria that he sees why people are annoyed by her, which classic Bobby Lights.
Yep.
So we see Safari trying to kick it with Larsa because there's no cameras there currently, and I think he's trying to get them digits, to which a camera is promptly behind Safari trying to get them digits. So good for Safari. Larsa's beautiful.
She is, but she wants nothing to do with that.
No, that ain't happening. So it's now time for Bobby Lights to give Hatch advice on how to play the game, and he's like, "You need to pull a stunt to play the game." He is like, yeah, he goes, "Actually, wait a second. New York tried that; it didn't work." And then we have Hatch going, "Am I taking advice from Bobby Lights? No way. Or should I? What am I doing?" And he does end up taking Bobby Light's advice, and it lands like a fart in church. It
That's why
is
I'm like this. I'm like, just even the cringe thinking about it, I'm like I want to hide my own face, like the secondhand shame and embarrassment and cringe of what ended up. Like, honestly, Richard Hatch, even with the rich and he just, I know he rubs people the wrong way and can be annoying and stuff, and that could have been fun to watch, but he just was like, he's just cringe fest the whole time.
it was fish out of water. It
Yeah.
was fish out of water, and I feel like reluctantly changing at the end, and it was just like, A, it's too late, and B, it's just like it's like, you know better than this. This isn't.
Yeah, that's not it. Or play it up like super campy just to get your moment in there, because then either way, whatever happens, you had like a fun moment, like go crazy with it and then be like, no, guys, I'm just kidding. Or be like,
Yeah,
or I'm pulling a New York, or I'm pulling a Bobby, or you know what I mean? Just like
it did
it
not.
just,
It did not.
no,
It did not land.
no, no, no. It was like he suddenly got serious and was telling them how he really felt, and then was like, now, of course, I don't mean that in the same tone. Like none. No, help, send help.
Yeah. I was waiting for smoke signals for police
Yeah,
help. This is so. Uh, let's see. Hatch explains he did 51 months in jail. Well, he was sentenced to 51 months. I'm not sure, but Hatch did tell me that he watched Survivor every night, every Wednesday when it was on
I
in
guess.
jail.
Well, it's tax jail, not like not
Yeah.
white collar is a little different
Yeah.
than other jail. I think you get a
I
little more.
listened to a lot of Dateline episodes, and there was one I listened to recently, and I don't know if it was a newer one or an older, because I just go back. I go to sleep listening to Dateline. I'm crazy, but but there was one where the person that had killed the other person, uh, the only way they would agree to tell them where the body was is if they could have an Xbox in jail, and they gave them an Xbox in jail.
Well, that's worth it to find where the body is. I wonder if they took the Xbox back. Maybe it deals the deal. I don't know.
I don't know how that. And then they were like, well, we were gonna give him an Xbox anyway. I'm like, why does someone like, no, he doesn't
No,
get it. Like
person
not
who knows
only
where
do
the
you lose
body
your
is.
freedom,
Yeah.
you also lose your Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, yeah. I think the reason why Hatch was able to watch like Survivor, and this isn't just for white collar criminals. I think sometimes you just have to pacify people on television. We know pacifies the masses. So if you put on something that people can kind of get into, and they have it, and just basic cable, you have NBC, you have ABC, CBS, and you
Yeah.
just have it on, and you don't want inmates to go crazy. You're like, here's TV. you know. So it's
They're
easier.
not giving them Bad Girls Club on
No,
Oxygen.
it's easier for the guards. That's like one of the arguments. People are like, oh, they get to watch TV, they get this, and I'm like, look, if you're going to have it be easier for the guards and less people acting up and make it flow, just give them like daytime television and give them some excitement at night. And yeah, I don't know how this
Gotta
turned
watch their
into a
stories.
prison conversation, but
yeah, they gotta watch the stories. So, well, Safari says, no matter what happens, it's okay, Hatch, because you're white with blue eyes. So I feel like Safari was semi talking to me, and I feel like the future just got a lot brighter. I too am white with blue eyes, so I feel like everything is coming out Millhouse
everything's
coming
going to
up
be
for me.
perfect for you.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
who knew?
I have dark brown
Victoria,
eyes, so my future will
what's
not
that?
be great. Unfortunately for me, my eye color. I'm a white lady.
Sorry.
No blue eyes, though.
Yeah. No, it's got to be the combo. So, and a white man. Sorry, I guess a penis has to be involved for this to work. So, yeah, you got a lot working against you, Jenn Hoffman, but
Yeah,
I think you're great.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. There's hope for me. But he started in the beginning with that. He wasn't he the one who said, when he said his name was Richard, he was like, oh, as in rich man, rich white man. Like, meanwhile, Safari's also talking about his 6-bedroom house and dissing Victoria for being broke. Yet I don't know. Okay.
There's a lot going on. So, well, we're poolside now the next day, and Victoria's going back to OnlyFans. So I don't have a current update on this. We will check with Victoria when we talk with her. She actually sent me a text. So I think we might have her lined up for either later this week or the beginning of next week. So get ready, Victoria is coming. But yes, we will see. Do you know if the OnlyFans is back up?
I have not checked, but I need the heads up if she's going to be on, because obviously I need to wear a tiara. That's my concern. You're dudes. You're like, is her OnlyFans up? Okay. My concern is like, do I have a tiara ready for the episode?
Yeah. Yes, I'm not allowed to subscribe to her OnlyFans.
Nor should you. You're married or engaged, and you shouldn't be. And I have somebody I've been dating for almost 3 years, and I'm like, that's cheating. That's giving another girl your money, our money. Like, no, that's different.
That's our money.
That's different. You're directly giving them. No, that's a no.
Yes, but you can look for leaks. Anyway, so we're poolside, and Wes has the conversation with Jesse, and who else is there? Anyway, he explains the game, and Wes says, quote, Hatch won the biggest game in the world. So for all of you that are wondering, when I said I'm the most famous Johnny of all time, talking about and referring to Johnny Bananas as the second most famous Johnny in the history of reality television, right here, folks, double middle fingers. Your boy from the challenge just said the biggest show in the world is Survivor, not the challenge. So fuck you, eat it. 36 million people watch my finale for me to go home. 36 million people have never watched Johnny Bananas do anything at one time ever in his entire fucking life.
Yeah, I would agree, and I can't imagine anybody.
Oh, Reddit had a field day. This guy is delusional. Oh, I don't know. Great, motherfucker. I don't know you either. But there's 36 million people that know me.
Yeah. Survivor's much bigger. Just even if we were taking the personalities out of it, where I believe you would be more of a household name than him. He's a niche. Like, if you're an MTV person and like that,
he's much bigger than me in the MTV.
Yeah, in
niche.
that world. But Survivor is a household name. The challenge isn't. If you asked people what is the challenge versus what is Survivor, just an average American household, people know the game Survivor, and they're not going to know the challenge. That's niched down to like age and demographic.
I was just in London. So in London, they know what Survivor is.
Yeah.
They don't know what the challenge is. Oh, right. I guess they had the challenge UK, but I don't think anyone watched it.
Yeah.
So. And Survivor UK just came back after hiatus and got canceled again. So, there is that. So, but, so no, I'm not saying whose dicks. Well, actually, Apparently, we have the same.
That is a little bit of a dick swinging contest. Oh, are you about to get literal?
Yeah.
Did you guys actually?
For the record, they're both. Yeah, we're both the same.
I was like, wait a minute. I was like, they're not. This is not a metaphor.
Yeah, we literally have the same. It was a conversation. Ladies, you're welcome.
Thanks for settling that. We were wondering.
Yes. So there we go. It is revealed at this point from Jesse that Wes says nothing gameplay wise, really, and sleeps till noon every day. I'm sitting here and I'm having flashbacks. Bananas refuses to talk game, and Wes and Bananas are cut from the same cloth. Refute, like, you make a deal with Bananas. He's just like, all right, this is the deal. I'm not going back on it. You don't go back on it. If I see anything, then I'll correct course. But that's it. But like in the morning, I'm just like, hey, it's just like, I don't talk game. He was like, go watch the challenge. He was like, these idiots love talking game. Someone overhears it, so everything's blown up. No one knows. No, he was like, I refuse to talk. And I feel like Wes is doing the same. And for someone from Big Brother, it kills you that because Big Brother, all you do in the house is talk game. That's all you do.
That's what you're there for. And if you sleep in late when other people don't, an entire vote might just have shifted. You might be getting backdoored, like something might have changed because you're so close together and all there is to do is to talk game. Obviously there's comps, but besides the comps, it's all that for so long that it's like if you miss out or not in the room, like you might miss out on an entire, your world might change. So he can't get his head around. Also, Jesse is like super, not saying Wes isn't disciplined because obviously Wes is in shape and does really well in these things. But, Jesse is like going to get up early in the AM and eat like, 100 eggs and a protein shake and work out.
And do the little gym thing. We see Hatch every morning in the hot tub. And we see Jesse going to go work out.
Yeah. So. And then some other people are sleeping and he's like, oh, Wes is sleeping in, which makes him seem like less of a competitor because you're absolutely right. He has the Big Brother mindset of you should be, talking about the game. And he also has like the wrestler athlete mindset that you get up in the morning and start training. And Wes is like, eh.
Yeah. Well, I think at some point Wes makes it to the gym area. If you look at, he's athletic, obviously. So, but Wes is all about, his business and his wife and he just had a kid. I'm sure, like, the deal is, I don't know what's changed because I feel like I saw a lot more phones this episode than I've ever seen ever on House of Villains. But the rule was you have your phone until you get up and then you turn it in and then you get your phone back when you go to bed.
So maybe he's laying in bed and talking to the wife. And
I'm sure he's just laying in bed talking. So I would get up and I would, because like no one else would get up, you'd see Bananas working out or or whoever, working out. But as long as you didn't talk, you got to keep your phone. So I'd get up and I'd go, I'd run, I'd do the treadmill or whatever, and then I'd get my phone, have my coffee, and talk to my fiance and all that. So I just imagine Wes is just sitting in bed talking to his family and talking to business people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So yes. So Hatch has come to Hatch's realization that he gave the Camila the power to nominate him, and that might not, in retrospect, been the smartest move for him. Mm-hmm. You're right. Mm-hmm. So we also see Safari decides maybe he should listen to Wes and maybe he should apologize to Victoria. And I don't necessarily think that there was an apology, but he does call Victoria over to his room, which is right across from his room. And he was just like, yeah, I thought I wasn't, I guess, I can't believe Jesse won. And Victoria's like, oh, no, I'm really good with numbers. I counted the seconds. And I'm like, oh my God, like whatever apology that was coming, like I felt like Victoria killed it. And he was just like, and we see Safari biting his tongue going, all right, I'm gonna fight through this. And he was like, "You're cute."
Right.
And that's all it takes.
Yeah. But then she did come out and say that, she thought it was fake too, and she faked it as well. So we know they have like a nicey. She does say, "Oh, he called me cute." She says, "I didn't really believe it. I think he was fake, but he called me cute." So smile, like, she's happy about it. So I don't know if it really fully worked, but it was a good strategy because she really did hate him, and we see how things start to go.
There you go. So, well, it's time for the stronghold. We have Joel high-fiving everyone as they're coming in for a football game. It was weird. And then we get Camila's butt. That is quite the supervillain of the week outfit. And she refers to herself as a bad bitch. And Joel says, "You can tell she's supervillain based on the size of the boots." Bobby Lights would agree with that. And now it's time for Hatch to give his plea, and he says he doesn't give a fuck about anyone in the house, especially New York. And then he says he's just kidding. And as we discussed earlier, this does not land.
No, it's cringe. It's just because it's not him. That's what as you initially said.
It's not you, it's me.
It's not his like authentic, it's bad advice. And then also he doesn't change tone when he says just kidding. So if he had gone all out and been super dramatic, and then at least maybe it could have been funny or silly or campy or something, but instead
it was none of that.
Instead you hear that, and then because we as the audience know that he had that conversation with Bobby Light where I'm going, "Oh God." And then for a different reason, the other contestants and cast are going like, "What? Oh God." Like everyone's going, "Oh no, God." Like stop.
Yeah. It was painful. It was painful. So, well, as far as bringing back another survivor for House of Villains All-Stars, I feel my position is safe thus far. Let's keep that going.
Yes.
So, next, Safari is crying. There's no tears, but New York explains it's the dry type of tears.
Dry type of tears, yeah.
Yes. So it is time to vote.
What does Joel McHale say about his glasses look like he just had LASIK or something?
The cataract surgery, his $1,000 glasses.
$1,000 glasses, yeah.
Yes, and they looked a little smudged. So everyone, when you're wearing glasses on TV, always wipe them off. So I have a fiance that always tells me to, so I know. And then when I'm doing a show, I just hear her voice in the back of my head saying, "Hey." So yes. So time to vote. Jesse is an ill-fitting suit. He's a big guy. He needs a tighter suit.
Yeah,
it looked like a funeral suit that like he bought day of.
Yeah. Like you just last minute you walk into like the big and tall store and you're like, "I need a suit."
Yeah. It's like, "Look at me," and the guy's like, "Oh, I got just the right thing. Some guy just returned it."
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's possible. I mean, maybe he actually was like, "Oh, they said bring at least one suit," and he was like, "Crap, I don't have that," and just grabbed one. It looks like probably exactly what happened.
Yeah, you gotta. We'll talk to Jesse again, but yeah, you gotta get tailored for a nice suit.
Yeah, unless he was like, "I'm planning to rip this suit off at some point."
That's a possibility.
Yes, I actually had that thought because it didn't really fit.
Even if that's the case, still have it fit before you rip it off.
I guess like I'm one of those people that I'm like, well, I guess it depends. And people already know he has an amazing body, whatever. But I think like if I know I'm just gonna buy something just to tear it off, I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna go spend like $2,000 on a suit and get it tailored just to rip it off. Like I might just grab something off the rack that fits. But
we're making a TV.
Probably would tell production to pay for it.
Yeah, I think you could probably talk him into it.
Yeah.
So, well, the votes are in. Hatch is out by unanimous vote, or as Camila asked, was that anonymous?
I heard that. No one did. Anybody say anything? I don't think anybody said anything. I was like, she said anonymous, didn't she?
Yes. Yeah. Well, this is a callback to season 1 in which Bobby Lights. There was a vote that was unanimous, and Bobby Lights asked Bananas, "What does unanimous mean?"
Oh yeah.
And to which Bananas replied, "Well, that's an indoor umbrella."
Oh
And he was like, "I never knew that."
yeah.
So, so for those of you wondering,
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh my god.
whenever you're using your indoor umbrella, that is obviously a unanimous.
It's a unanimous.
Or no, so anonymous. I don't know
Anonymous.
what one of
Oh, I don't
those.
remember which one it was.
Whatever it was, it's an indoor
Yeah.
umbrella.
The indoor umbrella is the funniest part. Like to come up with that is like that. You know what? That's the moral of the story more than the name. When somebody asks you what something means, tell them it's an indoor umbrella, no matter
Yes.
what the word is. Yeah.
Whatever it is. And they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I never knew that."
Yeah.
Well, when's the last time you used an indoor umbrella?
Yeah. Yeah. They're very
So,
important things. So
yes. So yeah. So next time on House of Villains, it is revealed that Larsa did not follow Victoria back on Instagram, and this is a whole deal. To which Victoria informs the House that Larsa pays for her Instagram followers because there's no way she has 5 million Instagram followers with only 100 comments.
Yeah, or 100 likes or something. Yeah, she's like, no,
the math doesn't math.
Yeah, the math doesn't usually math with stuff like that, but they did go through and get rid of. Actually, they got rid of the non-really expensive fake followers. So Larsa could, although I don't know if she has fake followers or not. The only way to really have fake followers anymore is to pay premium money, and you still can. So that's interesting.
Shots fired. So, and also looks like next week we have New York versus Teresa, and I am here for it.
I'm here for it, and I was so surprised because they're acting so sisterly and so close that I thought they were going to be an alliance. So that almost the highlight of this entire episode is that like last second where you see that, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. So it's a little early, but once again, like, do it.
Yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, I thought it was a great episode. I once again, I feel it's two totally different feels from season 1 and season 2, which is great. And both equally as enjoyable.
Definitely agree. Totally two different vibes because of the different cast dynamics. I think even switching one or two people out switches an entire cast when you have a show like this. So both super, super fun to watch. If people haven't gone and watched season 1, they totally should watch it so they can compare it. You know, one thing I do miss though is there was a little bit more fourth wall and a little bit more camp and Joel McHale, a little bit more making fun of the genre of reality TV so far in season 1, and I missed that a little. I loved that.
I think we have more to come on the fourth wall stuff.
Okay, I hope so because I enjoyed that, and I'm really loving this season. I just wish they would more of the stuff like the car had to come back or stuff like that. I just love it.
Yeah, I think some of the making fun is going to be more in the outfits on the challenges. As I said, like this is kind of a throwback to high school for some of these things. So we're going to have that. So there's going to be the fun there. And I think we've given you enough backstory stuff now that we can do a little more. I mean, because like the cars coming back was probably the best fourth wall stuff this episode.
Yeah, there wasn't much of it, but I feel like
and then like Larsa, do you love Hatch? No.
Yeah. I feel like yours had a lot of it though. Just even like, just kind of like, well, I don't know. There was a little bit on this. Like somebody would say something or make a mistake or ask, "What's that mean?" So they are doing some of the fourth wall stuff. They're, when they're asking questions with them, like you can hear the producer's voice. We saw your boy. What's his name again?
Oh, James hanging out with. He's back talking with Victoria. I feel like Victoria just pulls James from whatever he's doing to involve. She's like, "Who do you think's going home?" He's like, I don't care. She's like, "You really don't care?" He goes, "No, like this is." Whereas James does care. It just maybe not about you.
Yeah. Or I'm thinking that he knows, like, he's not going to say anything because he's aware that she's intentionally trying to get information from him. So he's just like playing dumb. It was funny. That was very funny. That was fourth wall.
I can't believe James has a recurring role on House of Villains season 2, and I'm here for it all day long. It's great. So But for everyone out there that would like to catch up on season 1 of House of Villains, it's available on Peacock. House of Villains season 2, it's live on Thursday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, and then it's available same week on Peacock. You can buy the season pass on Amazon, and if you want to watch live and you don't have E through your cable provider, Sling, I believe it's the blue package or the orange package. It's the one that has E. You can watch House of Villains live. The first 2 episodes are available on YouTube. And yeah, that's it. So Jenn Hoffman, where can everybody find you?
Jenn Hoffman HI on Instagram and TikTok, and Jenn Hoffman on X, Twitter, whatever.
Boom.
Yeah. And here, doing more podcasts, sometimes with Rachel Riley, sometimes with you, sometimes whatever, at youtube.com/aftershow.
There we go. So, and I'm at Jonny Fairplay on all the platforms, No H and Johnny, and except TikTok, I'm Fairplay Talk, TOK. So and get a cameo from me. We have a Survivor contest for the greatest Survivor ever. I think I'm like number 6 or 7 right now out of 280 survivors on TikTok, or sorry, Cameo. So yeah, cameo.com/Jonny Fairplay. I make them very fun. I start with a Jeff Probst cutout with a mullet wig, and I go over the Survivor flag, and I have a dead grandma tombstone, courtesy of the season 1 premiere of House of Villains. So yeah, we make it a lot of fun over there. But yeah, I'm Jonny Fairplay. That's Jenn Hoffman. We will see you guys probably with an interview here in the next few days. And then next Thursday night, right after the show, 11 p.m. Eastern on Thursday nights. Thank you very much, everybody. Bye.